What's good, Melanin Warriors? Again, sorry about the technical difficulties I had yesterday, but the episode is here, man. So now you already know who Harriet Tubman is, right? Because while most people know her as a fearless conductor of the Underground Railroad, few knew she was a spy, a nurse, and the first woman in U.S. history to lead a military raid, man. Y'all heard that right. We're talking about Harriet Tubman, man. Let's get it. Let's go.
Stand for something, you gon' fall for anything. Melanin Warriors. Let's go. M-E-L-A-N-I-N Warriors. M-E-L-A-N-I-N Warriors. M-E-L-A-N-I-N Warriors. M-E-L-A-N-I-N Melanin Warriors. Melanin Warriors. I shade all my kings and queens. Melanin Warriors. Either you stand for something or fall for anything.
All right, so everybody knows the work Harriet Tubman put in on the Underground Railroad. But did you know that Harriet Tubman wasn't just satisfied helping folks escape north through the woods? By the time the Civil War broke out in 1861, Harriet was already a legend, man. She had personally escorted around 70 people to freedom over the years and guided hundreds more indirectly. She had a whole team, and she was already leading folks, man. But when the Union Army came calling for her, Harriet didn't just sit on the sideline, bro. She went straight to it. Auntie ran right back into the chaos and did her thing. So she volunteered for the Union Army, serving in South Carolina, deep in Confederate territory. You know how the South was back then. But she didn't enlist as a regular soldier. She came in as a spy, a scout, and later a military strategist, man. So let's talk strategy for a minute. Harriet worked with Union Colonel James Montgomery, and under the Union's Department of the South, she gathered intelligence behind enemy lines. She recruited networks of freedmen, slaves, and black scouts to collect data. They provided real-time info about Confederate troops' locations, ammunition depots, supply lines, and even the terrain, y'all. She dressed in disguises, navigated through swamps, and blend in with enslaved folks to gather what she needed. I know y'all didn't hear about that on Black History Month, but here it is, man. This wasn't Harriet the myth, y'all. This was Harriet the operator. Harriet Tubman was out here running spy networks like a melanated James Bond. And what's wild about this is she did it all without formal education, without rank, and without pay for years, man. She didn't even get a dime for all the work she put in. Now, this one, they should be teaching in every U.S. history book across the country, but don't worry, Melanin Warriors got you. In June 1863, Harriet Tubman led the Combahee River Raid in South Carolina. That's right, she led it, man. As in, like, she was in command. The only woman in U.S. history to plan and lead a military raid at that point. Alongside Colonel Montgomery in the 2nd South Carolina Volunteer Infantry, which was a black Union regiment, Harriet guided gunboats through the minefield in Combahee River using intel she personally gathered. The goal here was to free enslaved people, destroy Confederate supplies, disrupt the Southern economy. And what was the results of her raid? It was over 750 enslaved black people were freed in one night. Confederate plantations and their infrastructure were burned to the ground. Major supply lines was dismantled, y'all. And you're telling me this ain't in textbooks? I mean, come on, man. This was a highly melanated woman commanding military strategy before highly melanated women could even vote, before they were considered citizens, before they could even walk down the street safely, man. And that's true Melanin Warrior status. But that's not all, y'all. So this is where the injustice hits, y'all. So even after the war, Harriet Tubman was never fully recognized by the U.S. military. She didn't receive a pension for her spy and scout work. For decades, she struggled financially, relying on donations from fellow abolitionists. She eventually got widow's pension from her husband's service, but not her own. So y'all imagine leading soldiers in the battle, freeing 750 people, and they still don't even write you into the war records with respect. Man, that's just crazy to me. They gave generals medals for less. They gave status to even traitors. But Harriet Tubman, man, she got erased. Like I said, until now. So Harriet Tubman's Civil War role isn't just a cool historical footnote either, man. It's more like a blueprint. She was highly melanated. She was a woman. She was poor. She had epilepsy from a head injury. She had no rank, no salary, no permission. And still, she led a raid that freed hundreds, strategized against the Confederacy, and proved that courage isn't granted by title, it's born in the soul. We ain't just talking about survival, y'all. Harriet was a military tactician, a covert operator, and a frontline healer, and a freedom architect. Like I said before, she is the true melanin warrior, man. So y'all put some in the comments. Tell me if y'all knew anything about this, man, or anything y'all want to add to it. And like always, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And remember, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. Share.
Let's go. Melanin Warriors.